Now, the Chinese government will pump $60 billion to development projects, pardon me, across the African continent. This pledge was announced by Chinese President Xi Jinping at the just concluded China-Africa summit in South Africa. But as KTN's Murimi Mwangi now reports, China maintains it will not meddle in Africa's internal affairs, even as it brokers trade deals with the continent.
This partnership between China and the African continent, which was officially launched at Beijing in the year 2000, has once more brought a basket of fresh goodies to the continent. This time, a pledge of $60 billion worth of development projects to be rolled out across the continent in the next 3 years. This was announced by Chinese President Xi Jinping during the ongoing China-Africa summit in Pretoria, South Africa. The Chinese president also said the 3-year partnership will include zero-interest rate loans and scholarships to train thousands of Africans to bridge the human resource gap in the continent.
This includes $5 billion in grants and zero-interest loans, $35 billion of preferential facilities, export credit lines and concessional loans of more favorable terms, an increase of $5 billion to the China-Africa Development Fund, and a special loan for the development of African SMEs, respectively, and the China-Africa Fund for Production Capacity Cooperation with an initial contribution of $10 billion.
But in a move that is likely to anger Western states, China has announced that it will not interfere in the internal affairs of African countries, a statement that drew a strong applause from African leaders who have faced strong Western criticism for their human rights record.
We should remain committed to mutual assistance in security. Poverty is the root cause of chaos, while peace is the guarantee for development. Development holds the key to solving all problems. China supports the settlement of African issues by Africans in the African way.
I feel highly honored to take the floor immediately after President Xi Jinping has made the much anticipated announcement of new measures, which are historic and destined to change and to inject more vibrancy into the already dynamic relationship between China and Africa. I therefore take this opportunity to express our sincere and profound gratitude.
But even as the Asian giant continues to dwarf Western states in direct investments to Africa, China has come under fire from African states for continually using Chinese firms to develop roads and railways in Africa, thereby leaving little for local economies.
Once again, our detractors have sought to portray and reduce our relations to purely commercial ties, driven, in their view, as they say, by China's appetite for and desire to extract raw materials from our continent. That's what they say. On the contrary, reality, fortunately, does not conform to such distorted, imaginative creations.
China is Africa's largest trading partner, and the trade volumes between them amounted to $220 billion in 2014. China's influence is broadly seen by Africans as a healthy counterbalance to the West, though Western governments accuse China of turning a blind eye to conflict and rights abuses as they pursue trade and aid policies in Africa. Muremi Mwangi, KTN News, Nairobi.